Hello guys, Vino here, coming at you with a Vino Plonk production, and today we're going to be doing a revisited on the Scream Factory Friday the 13th Collection Deluxe Edition that came out around Halloween last year. So this box set swarmed YouTube. So many people bought this box set. In fact, it prompted a few people to go and rebuy or buy the Halloween box set, which is way out of print and way expensive these days. I did have the Halloween box set. Unfortunately, I sold it, which is why I wanted to get this at the time. I thought this would be a nice Friday video. Get it? Friday the 13th, Friday. I thought this would be a nice Friday video to do a revisited on this. I was supposed to show this off or do a revisited on it on Halloween, but I forgot for various reasons, so here we are now. I would say that this set needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce it anyway, in case there's some people who come to this video not knowing what this set even is. So the Scream Factory put this out a year ago, as I said, in 2020, around Halloween 2020. They released this set, and to much acclaim. So many people were like, oh my god, this set is amazing. I think half of YouTube bought it, and the rest is probably history. This is the most deluxe way of getting hold of Friday the 13th. However, I will say that Scream Factory did drop the ball a little bit, in that there were some errors on some of the discs. I have the replacement discs. If you were to buy the set now, you wouldn't need to get the replacement discs, because the ones included past February of this year. If you order it past February of this year, 2021, you will get the edited discs in the set. I've got both the original discs in here, and the edited discs are downstairs. Scream Factory also dropped the ball, and they did want to bring all of the extras over from all other releases to the set. They didn't quite do that. So you've been staring at the front all this time at all of the jewel cases there. If we now go around to the side, we have Jason in various forms there. I've actually forgotten the artist that did all of these pictures, but they are pretty damn awesome. This one I really like. I will say, when I first looked up this set to buy it, I wasn't over enamoured at these pictures. I thought they looked a bit campy, a little corny to me. However, getting it in person, I actually really like these. It does give it a kind of comic book feel, which is not for everybody, but they have grown on me. And there we go. There is Jason's famous mask on the bottom. You've got some details, and that's the box itself. So let's do this, and we'll start getting out the cases, shall we? So there we go. The first one, obviously, let's start at the beginning. Probably a good place to start with Friday the 13th, the original. Some might say the best, depending on your preference. That's just the back, and on the inside, there we go. I should mention before I forget that this is locked to the US. This is locked to region A, Blu-ray region. I do have ways of playing it. I have a jailbroken or hacked PlayStation 3 that allows me to play these discs, or there is a piece of software, a free piece of software called Leowo, Leowo, and you can play multi-region Blu-rays and DVDs through that software. So you get two discs. You get the original theatrical version and then the uncut version. If we go behind the discs, you can actually see there is a reversible cover. There are a number of films cases in this set that do have reversible covers. One thing I will say, getting more into this set, there are alternate covers they could have picked than the ones they did. But anyway, that is Friday the 13th Part 1. Then we move on to Part 2. Again, I'm not sure about the cover they went for by default, but hey ho, that is the back. You only get the one disc with this one, and then once again you can see the alternate cover there. the body count continues. Next up is Friday the 13th Part 3. I'm debating whether I want to tell you some of my thoughts on Friday the 13th Part 3. I'm not actually the biggest fan of Friday the 13th Part 3. However, I rewatched it recently and it's grown on me. The theme tune. Oh my god, the theme tune's amazing. I love Harold Manfredini's theme tune for... Is it Harry Manfredini or Harold Manfredini? Harry Manfredini. I love his theme tune for Friday the 13th Part 3. Probably the best part of Friday the 13th for me. I know a lot of people love this film because it's the first time Jason gets his mask and all that kind of stuff. But for me, I'm not the biggest fan of Friday the 13th Part 3. But anyway, you'll be looking at this case front. I love this one far better than the other ones, and plus it coming out of the case a little bit kind of pays homage to the 3D part of this film. And there we go. The other thing I should mention is the 3D now used on this particular version is actual 3D, polarizing 3D you get from a 3D telly. Not polarizing. It's not the 3D glasses one anymore. You have to have an actual 3D TV. And there you go. There's another kind of 3D shot for the reversible cover. We now move on to my personal first favourite, which is Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which obviously we all know wasn't the final chapter, but at the time they were trying to close off the series, or at least Sean S. Cunningham was. And there we go, there's inside, and once again we'll take the disc off to show you the alternate cover. I really like part 4, yeah. My apologies. Little sneeze there. And then we move on to A New Beginning. Now, obviously, there is something different about this film. I didn't mind this film too much, despite the difference in the film. It is a different film, and there are some differences with the film. I will say this, in Friday the 13th Part 1 and this one, the chi 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 ma ma ma, or ki 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 ma ma ma, as it's actually supposed to be, because it's supposed to sound like kill ma ma or what have you, is actually different in this film and the first film. And those that know those films will know why they're different. But there we go. That's the back. Looking at the front, this actually spoils this film, which is kind of annoying, but there you go. And there we go. There is the alternate cover. If Jason still haunts you, you're not alone. Next up is Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. Whew, I love this film. Just straight up, I love this film. This is probably my favourite of the series so far. It is, to me, such a good film. I don't know what it is about it that makes me love it so much. It is campy in places. It's a parody of itself. It parodies other films like James Bond, like the opening of it, and does not take itself too seriously. It's comedic in parts. I love Jason Lives, if you couldn't tell, and at some point I'm going to do a back-to-back of this and the final chapter and see which one I prefer over the two. And that's the back. We open it up. This one doesn't have a reversible cover, but if you take out the disc, you do have a panoramic of Jason there, which is rather cool. And of course, is the first time we get Zombie Jason, as he now becomes to be known as. Next up is Friday the 13th, The New Blood. So this is when Paramount tried to start looking into getting Freddy vs Jason a thing, and they were trying hard to get hold of the license and unable to do so. So they then wanted to get hold of the Carrie license, and this was supposed to be Jason versus Carrie, but whoever held the Carrie license at the time wasn't having any of it, so they did an off-brand version of it basically. So I've forgotten her name. Is it Megan? My brain wants to say Megan, but there's a young girl, teenager, in this film that has telekinetic powers, and she basically faces off against Jason. So it's Diet, Freddy versus Carrie. Freddy versus Carrie. Jason versus Carrie. And there we go. Once again, you don't get a reversible cover, but you get another nice panoramic shot there. And of course, this is also the first film that Jason Hodder stars as Jason, and he went on to be in all of the rest of the films, bar one, as Jason, I should preface. Next up is Jason Takes Manhattan, Friday the 13th, Part 8. This is actually quite a few people's favourites. Not favourites, but quite a few people seem to like this. I haven't seen it just yet, but there we go. That's actually a really nice cover there. And that's the back. And this one, once again, doesn't have a reversible cover, but it does have another panoramic shot of Jason there. So, we are firmly out of Paramount's era of Jason and Friday, and we're now into New Line Cinemas era. And next up is Jason Goes to Hell. This may be controversial, but I actually really enjoy this film. You may be wondering how on earth I haven't seen Part 7 and Part 8, but have seen Part 9 or Jason Goes to Hell. The reason why I've seen this is I accidentally watched it. So I was testing these out last year when I first bought the set. Was watching this film, got halfway through it, and thought I'll just watch the rest, basically. I actually really enjoy this film. Just the bombastic plot, it goes all over the place, but I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy the supernatural element of this film. And that's the back. And of course, this film was supposed to set up Freddy vs Jason. It does set up Freddy vs Jason, but it was going to be for like 9+ years until that was going to happen. So once again, there's 2 discs in this one. There's the uncut version and the theatrical version. There is the reversible cover, which isn't actually that different from the standard cover, but hey ho, it's there if you want it. I should have started saying this at the beginning, but the errors with this particular set and these discs, again, not that if you bought it now you'd get these errors because they've included the rectified discs, is in Friday the 13th Part 3 in the 3D version of the film. When the titles first come out, they glitch. There's a bit of a problem with it. In Jason Goes to Hell, there is a issue with the uncut version where Jason grabs somebody's wrist and like bends it back and snaps their wrist and their bone pops out. That's not in the uncut version in this particular disc. In the rectified disc, it is in there. So just to let you know, that's the issues with those. And now we move on to Jason X, which contains the third and final error of this set. Jason X, again, I really like Jason X. It is cheesy, it is campy, it's all those things. But I enjoy it for some weird reason. It introduces Uber Jason. It doesn't take itself that seriously to me. Yes, it's a complete Alien or Aliens ripoff, but I just enjoy it. There we go. There's the back. And we look inside. Once again, a reversible cover. So the New Line Cinema series of films, the main difference for the reversible covers is they actually have different spines, and I do know people who use the reversed cover for the New Line Cinema Friday the 13th films and keep the Paramount ones, the original spines, which is quite an interesting look actually. But there we go, Jason X, another one of my favourites in the series. And we now get to a lot of people's favourite and what they were building up to for quite some time, and that's Freddy vs Jason. Before I get on to that, in Jason X, the third and final era of this set, if you bought the older set, if you got it from eBay or something, is during the sleeping bag kill, there is no audio for like a split second. It's not that long at all, but one of the girls who screams, one of the screams is not there. The rest of them are there, just one of the screams has been strangely not there. However, on the edited disc, it's there. Freddy vs Jason. This film probably needs no introduction, but this is what they were going for quite some time. It took ages to get the rights, and here they are. There's the back. There is the inside. Again, you get a reversible cover. I'm not the biggest fan of this reversible cover because it doesn't have the title on there. It was just verses with Freddy and Jason stood side by side. Yeah, the only thing about this film that I think is a bit of a thing, is Ken Hodder doesn't play Jason. It's Ken Kershinger. Kershinger, I think is how his name's pronounced, which is actually a crying shame. There are reasons why it wasn't Kane Hodder, but that's a crying shame. He is in the film, I think, as an extra, but he's not Jason. So, and then we move on to the 2009. My brain wants to say 2009 remake of Friday the 13th. Now, it's actually quite funny that at the time this got maligned, this got panned. However, upon reflection, a lot of people actually quite enjoy this film. And the reason why is, out of all the reboots that came after this, this actually wasn't bad comparative to all the other crappy reboots that came after it. I actually really enjoyed this film. There's the back. There is the inside. The only thing about the, so from, I think it's from Jason X onwards. No. From Freddy vs Jason and this disc are the same discs that had been released before. If you notice on this disc, there's no mention of Screen Factory on there or anything. They've just taken a disc from another set and put it in here, which means there are no additional extras for this particular film, which is a bit of a shame because, as we'll get to in a minute, there's a book out there called Crystal Lake Memories. There's also a documentary called Crystal Lake Memories. Now, the book got released before this film was released. The book came out in 2006, this came out in 2009. So although the documentary does cover this film, the book didn't. And as we'll also get to in a minute, this contains an excerpt from that book. So it would have been nice to get some additional extras on here, maybe from the Crystal Lake Crystal Lake Memories documentary on this disc, but hey ho. This also has a reversible cover. I actually really like that reversible cover, that alternate cover. So there we go. Oh, let's put the disc back in. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? And then, last but by no means least in terms of discs, we get the bonus material. So it's here where a lot of the new stuff is contained. It is here that we do get some additional interviews and stuff for the 2009 remake, because as I said, the original Crystal Lake Memories book doesn't cover the 2009 remake. You do get some quite nice stuff in here. I think there is an interview with Sean S. Cunningham about it. There's an interview with Kane Hodder. There's an interview with Derek Mears, who plays Jason in that film. So there's a lot of stuff. In fact, if we look at the back, there's all the stuff that this bonus disc contains. I say bonus disc, there's actually two of them. So there we go. And if we take off the discs and show you the back, you can see the original image from the first film at the end, for those who know that film. That's it for discs in terms of the set, but the final thing this set also includes is a booklet, a rather nice booklet actually. In fact, I'm going to zoom past one of the parts in that film, in the booklet, because it spoils the first film. But this is actually an excerpt from the Crystal Lake Memories book that I spoke about earlier, just a moment ago in this video. This is actually a more condensed version. I do want to buy that book at some point and read through it. I have read through a lot of this book and it's really good stuff. So I want to buy the Crystal Lake Memories book, the actual book, and you know, some of this information of course is shared across it. This does also talk about the, yes, it does talk about the 2009 remake. So there is actually some additional stuff in this book versus the other Crystal Lake Memories book that talks about the 2009 remake. Very good addition. So, now that I've spoken about the actual set itself, showing it off again, the whole point of the Revisited series is for me to discuss and talk about where this set fits in my collection and how much of it I've gone through. If you couldn't tell from the way I was talking just then, I've gone through a lot of this set. I don't know why I've skipped some of the films. I've randomly skipped 7 and 8 and then watched past that for really strange reasons. But I've gone through a lot of this set. I do want to sit down at some point and go through a lot of the extras on the set and just really deep dive on some of the extras in this set. But I have gone through this set quite a bit and it's a bloody lovely set. I have to say, when it came to the Halloween set, I actually wondered why I own that set on occasions. But when it comes to this set, I'm a big Friday the 13th fan. I got big into Friday the 13th when the game came out a number of years ago, done by Gun Media and Illphonic Studios, I think they're called, or Illphonic Games, whatever they're called. But I really got into the franchise through that game and bought my DVD set that I've got. And then when this came out, to me it was a no-brainer to get this set. This is a bloody lovely set and is one of the most, you know, definitive collections for this. It's a shame that Screen Factory have missed the ball on a few bits of the set, but I have heard there is another deluxe version of the first film coming out at some point that may contain all of the extras they've missed off of this set. They just needed more time to go and have the conversation to get those extras into this set. The other thing that's actually really good about this set is a lot of these films were cut heavily because the MPAA was really coming after Friday the 13th. A lot of that material and that footage has been found and has been put on the various discs they belong to. There's actually some interesting cut footage from Friday the 13th Part 3 that makes the film a lot more graphic. The problem with the included footage is VHS quality, because it was a fan who managed to have it on a VHS, or a crew member that had it on a VHS, but it's there basically if you wish to look at it and see what the film would have looked like. There isn't a version of the film including those edits because it's the wrong quality, but it's there if you need it. And there's just, I could speak for hours about the additional stuff this set has over any of the other sets. One thing I will say though, if you do want to maybe spend a bit less on this, because this is £100 or whatever the dollar equivalent of that is, you can find the tin set of Friday the 13th on eBay for actually quite a cheap penny nowadays. When this set came out, so many people flooded eBay with that particular set because of course they were selling it to buy this set. So that set is actually out there quite a bit now to pick up if you wish to. Anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this revisited video, and until next time, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.